If you know what, let me mute everybody. Perfect. Everybody's muted. I hit the record button and you can just unmute yourself if you need to share. Obviously, you're going to be sharing, Carolyn. But quickly, I want to make just announcements. We decided to extend the deadline for the Dash to Diamond group. If anybody isn't in there or anybody has teammates that still want to do it that haven't, paid the money to be in the pot for the prize to earn the pot, we're extending the deadline for the $20 entry fee through midnight tonight. And then if you don't enter, put the money in the pot put the money, PayPal it to me, then you won't be eligible to earn the pot. You can still join the group. You just won't be eligible to earn the pot. So if you have anybody in your downlines on your teams or, anybody wants to join, they can still join. They just won't be eligible to win the pot if they don't put the money in the pot, put the money in. And it's really just, I don't think it's going to be super complex. We're keeping it very simple. I know that you guys have seen me posting about it, but it's going to be a live video Monday through Friday from one of us leaders. Each of us leaders are leading on different topics based on what we are most comfortable in. What we're really good at or whatever. And then, sorry, my Facebook Messenger is going off. And then we're going to try to keep the video short. We don't want to have a lot of training. We simply want to just have pretty much encouragement, and we want people to feel like this is something that they can do. Diamond, if you really break it down, we want you to see that it's not that hard, but a lot of times we make it harder in our minds than it really is. And we've broken it down. We've created a calendar for you, a posting schedule, when you're going to start your free group, when you're going to start your paid group, when you're going to invite to coaching. And we're building a foundation throughout the first week with an awesome business activity tracker that Carolyn already uses with her team. And we're starting it slowly over time. We're adding on more and more each day. So by the end of the first week, you have all of the things that you'll need to do in your power hour. And then you can just consistently do those moving forward. And then that's pretty much it. So if anyone still wants to join, feel free. It's in the document. There's a link to the group. Feel free to request to join, be added. If you want to be eligible for the pot, make sure to put your $20 in by midnight tonight, and then you'll be eligible. And to earn it, you have to have 6 new sponsored Dolly, where'd you go? Okay, my bird. Where'd you go? I hope you're not chewing things. He ripped up the freaking remote control the other day. I got to put him to bed. So 6 coaches sponsored by you or your personally sponsored coaches, 1 new personally sponsored Emerald, and you need to either advance to the rank of Diamond or Star Diamond. All right, so that's it for that. As far as the call tonight, we have a very special guest with us. I think things that I've seen in us, building up this Diamond group, she's incredible at leading her team, and she is a rock star. She went from being an Emerald coach to a 3-star Diamond premier in 1 year last year. Well, her team did. But I'm sure a big part of that is her leadership. She's the founder of Team Sweat Your Heart Out. She's a 4-star Diamond coach, 2015 Premier Team, currently ranked number 85. I think she's probably higher up than that. That was from the previous elite report. Of Success Club 10 All-Star. And she'll actually be a legend this month, I think, for hitting Success Club 10. And she is pretty much building most of her business on Instagram. Instagram is her jam, and I think she's going to share with us all that she knows about earning Success Club and building a team and all that. So I'll let you take it away and talk about what topics you're going to share.
All right, cool. Thank you for that.
Thank you for being on the call, girl. I'm excited to hear from you.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for that really awesome introduction. We're actually, I don't want to lie, we're actually 96 now, because last month was a little rough for a lot of people, but it's not a problem. We're still top 100, so that's pretty cool, and just really excited for everyone. But I can guarantee that next month will be a lot better because we're already pushing really hard this month. But yeah, I'm really excited to be here and talk to you guys today about building your network. There are 3 different outlets that not primarily, but 3 different outlets that I use to build my network: Facebook, Instagram, and in person. So I'm going to talk about those 3 different outlets and how you can use them to find people who are just like you and build your team so that you have people on your team who you actually enjoy being around and going on trips with and doing things like that. It's not so much how many people can I recruit for my team? It's more like, how many friends can I find that I'm actually going to enjoy hanging out with and being around? And it's more about like the quality of the people who you're bringing on your team instead of the quantity of the people. So let me go ahead and share. I made slides. They're not like the most exciting. I tried to make them funny, so there's a couple of humorous things in there. So you might not laugh, though. I don't know if you have my sense of humor. But yeah, so one of the things I really wanted to talk about is just expanding your network. But I wanted you to think about, you're only as strong as your contact list is long. So if you don't have a lot of people that you're talking to and your contact list is like still that 100 list that you were making when you were first starting out as a coach, and you haven't been adding to it as you're going, eventually you're going to run out and you're going to talk to everybody, and then you're going to be stuck and you're going to be like, oh, well, I already talked to everybody. But that's because you weren't building as you were talking to those 100 people. So if you're a brand new coach, just know that that 100 people is just kind of like a base for you to start. And every time you reach out to someone new, you want to add more people to it so that it constantly is like filtering people through your contact list. So I'll explain the photos in a minute, but what determines your success is how successful you can build a team and lead them to have success. So the number of contacts, like I said, in your contact list is super important. You want to make sure that you're adding new coaches or new contacts. Eventually there'll be coaches, but new contacts to your list every day, whether that's 5 new friends or 10 new friends or 20. I think I wouldn't do any more than 20 because you don't want to get put in Facebook jail. But you always want to be adding people to your list so that you're always adding people to your funnel. The quality, though, of the relationships you have with these people is also going to determine your success. So you could have 3,000 Facebook friends and not really have a high-quality relationship with a handful of them. Or you could have like maybe 200 friends and have a really high-quality relationship with those 200 friends. Then I'd rather have 200 friends that I actually have a good relationship with than just a bunch of random people who are friends taking up spaces in your friends list of people who you would never have them as a coach on your team. It's just like, you don't want to just go and add random people. Like, you really want to make sure that it's somebody who you would be okay with sharing a bed with on a trip or something like that. So the quality of the relationships you have is really important. And then for these photos, this is why the photos are here. It's more important to have a deep audience over a wide audience. So if you think of Hanson back in the day when they were popular, they were huge. They had a wide audience. They were like teeny boppers, whatever. There were so many people that had a lot of fans, but you don't really hear about them much anymore because their audience was really wide, but it wasn't deep. And if you think about the Rolling Stones, on the other hand, their audience was very deep because there are still people who are talking about the Rolling Stones. They're still doing like concerts here and there. They still have a fan base. I'm sure they still have like a huge fan club. So their audience was really deep as compared to Hanson. While they might have been popular for like a couple of years, it was more wide than deep. So now they're not as widely known and popular. So when you are developing relationships with people and you're putting yourself out there on your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever, you want your audience to be deep. So who cares if you have 5,000 followers or if you have 50,000 followers? If only 2,000 of them are engaging with you, then I'd rather have the lower amount if I have more of them engaging with me than have 50,000 followers and only getting like 100 likes on my stuff and no engagement. So you don't want to determine your success based off of how many likes you get, how many comments you get. You want to determine it based off of the quality of the relationships that you have with the people who you're interacting with every day. Because I know a lot of times you get caught up like, oh, I posted and I only got like 2 likes, so people must not like me. But it has nothing to do with that. And it's just more about the quality over quantity. Just remember that. So one of the outlets for adding friends and finding people to join your team is on Facebook. And there's a couple different ways that you can do this. So yeah, here comes the humor, because this is like not the most exciting topic, but yeah, so there are other ways that you can find friends. And I always like to say friends, like I treat this business 100% as I am finding friends. Like I just want to add to my friends group. I want to connect with new people. I'm not like, oh, I want to go out there and find some people to buy some challenge packs for me. And I just want to find some coaches. Like there are people who I meet and I don't present the coaching opportunity to them because I personally, like, it's not for them. It's not for everyone. I just feel like, I know some people say like, oh, well, don't play God, don't keep it from somebody. But honestly, if there's someone who I know would not fit our culture of our team, and I'll recommend them to somebody else who I know who might be able to help them better than I would. So I really look for people who I want to hang out with, people I want to spend time with, people I want to go on these trips with, and people who I'm not going to get annoyed if they're messaging me at 11 o'clock at night. Like I'm going to be excited that they're talking to me. I'm going to be excited that they're messaging me. And I think that's like the biggest thing, because our team is so close knit and so tight because we're all like really close friends. And I think that's because we really focus on the quality of the relationships that we're having with these people, and not so much like, oh yeah, you want to be a coach? Hey, you be a coach. Hey, you want to be a coach? Like, let me just sign up everybody, because it doesn't work that way. I mean, I've been there, done that, and it's not a good road to be down. So places that you can find friends to add to your network are going to your friends of friends. So I wouldn't do this if this person, like if you have a friend who's a coach, don't go to their friends and do like people you may know. That's just dumb. That's a waste of adding a friend. And if they're friends with a coach, like if you have a mutual friend and it's a coach, either they are a coach themselves or that coach is already taking care of them and helping them. So there's no reason for you to go step on anybody's toes. But if you go to another friend who's not a coach, let's say like, oh, I have this girl who I know from high school and she doesn't want to coach, and I've asked her so many times, but I know she has a lot of friends who would make really great coaches. So I would go to her friends and then go to more and then go to people you may know, and I'll see who's in there. And if I have at least 3 mutual friends, which I'll probably have more than 3 because we went to high school together, then I'll add them. And I set aside time to add at least 10 to 20 people every day from Facebook. Sometimes it doesn't all come from friends of friends. Sometimes I have to go into groups. So if you have specific interests, like I have, my dog, we had to just put him asleep, but I had a Weimaraner. So I'm in a Weimaraner group. I'm in a French Bulldog group because I'm obsessed with them. I'm in a couple yoga groups. I'm in like paddleboarding groups. I'm in different groups that I have interests in. And that's a place where you can meet and connect with people and you can add them. And then also events. So if you have local events in your area and you see people who are interested or people who are going or people who were invited, those are people who you might have mutual friends with as well. So that's another place that you can look for people. And obviously if they're interested in the same events that you are interested in, they might be somebody who has something in common with you as well. And then you can add them from there as well. So those are just 3 places on Facebook that I personally use. I'm sure there's other ways too, but those are just the main ways that I do that on Facebook. And then Instagram. So I guess this is what most people wanted to really hear about, judging by Marissa's introduction. So I'll spend a little more time with Instagram. But I have 5 diamonds on my team. One of them is my second business center. But out of the 4 who are not me, 3 of them came from Instagram and were people that I did not know who they were before I became a coach. So that speaks volumes to Instagram. Like if it weren't for Instagram, I would never have met these 3 coaches who are my best friends, like 100%. And they also happen to be 3 diamonds out of 4 on our team that I had no idea who they were before I started coaching. So if you're not on Instagram and you're not using Instagram, you want to get on Instagram, you want to start learning how it works, and I'm going to teach you a way that I convert people from Instagram to Facebook, because unfortunately the one thing about Instagram that kind of stinks is the messaging capabilities. So they're improving, they're getting better, but people really don't know how to use the messenger. And so many people have been abusing the Instagram messenger with like spam messages like, oh, thanks for liking my post. Do you want to try these shakes or whatever I have to? And I'm like, no, I'm a coach. Like, what are you doing? So many people have already been abusing that people like won't even read their Instagram messages, or they'll see it and they'll be like, oh, this is spam. So what I do is I get them to convert to Facebook. So that's where it's easier to build a relationship with people on Facebook Messenger. You can see their Facebook. You can see things that you can start conversations about. So anyone who I happen to discover on Instagram, I have very little conversation with them on Instagram, and 80% of it is on Facebook. But Instagram, the way I like to look at it, is like a search engine for awesome people. And then once you find them, you want them to be on Facebook so that you can actually develop that relationship with them. So the way that you connect with the people on Instagram is through this method that Chalene Johnson teaches. So like, I did not come up with this. I'm not going to take credit for it, but it's called the 5-3-1 method. And this is something that I have all of the coaches on our team do as well, at least 5 a day. Some of them do 10. Some of them just love doing them and they just want to keep doing them for like an hour. I don't know. Like, I don't enjoy them that much that I would do them for an hour, but some of them do. And basically the 5 stands for like 5 photos. So the first thing you want to do after you find somebody who looks like they'd be a great coach or somebody you'd really get along with and you want to just get to know them more, you're going to like 5 of their photos. So you want to make sure that you're liking photos that are kind of relevant to like what you like. You don't, if they have a photo of, I don't even know, like a box of Cheez-Its, like I wouldn't like that. I don't know where that even came from, but you want to kind of like photos that you're able to talk about, things that are relevant, maybe pets, maybe photos from when they traveled, different things that you're interested in as well. And you want to try to make sure that they're more recent. You don't want to be that weirdo that's liking photos from 2011 and they're like, who's this creepy person on my Instagram? Like, that's going all the way down to my very first post. Like, you don't want to do that. But you want to like 5 photos. So the easiest way to do it is to make it so, I'm not sure what, the button kind of looks like 3 lines, I think. And you click on it and it'll make it so you can just kind of scroll through only their photos. So you can just scroll through and double tap the ones you like. And then after you like 5, you want to comment on 3 of them. So the comments can be on 3 of those 5 that you liked. They can be on 3 different ones. It can be on 2 that you liked, 1 that you didn't. It doesn't really matter. It just matters that they're seeing all of this action on their Instagram from you. And they're like, who the hell is this person? What are they doing? And then so by doing that, they're going to go to your page and they might follow you because they're like, oh, well, they're like giving me all this love. I'm going to follow them, in which case I do follow them back. And then your comments, though, when you comment on their photos, you want to make sure that you're posting engaging questions. You don't want to just be like, oh, cool pic. Oh, that's really cute. Oh, I love that. Like, you don't want to do that because people are going to think it's spam or a robot or something. So the comments that you post want to be engaging. You want to ask questions. Maybe you see they have a dog, which is like typically my go-to. If they have a pet, that's just usually easy to start a conversation about. So I might say something like, oh my God, your dog's so adorable. I have a Weimaraner too. What's your dog's name? So I'm complimenting them. I'm asking them a question. And you want to do that on 3 photos. Now, the last one that you do, I send like pretty much the same exact thing to everyone, which could be why my Instagram today, it said that it something like, oh, your Instagram, look, there was like some kind of activity where it looked like somebody had taken over your Instagram and they had, here, reset your password. I don't even know. It was weird. So you can't copy and paste apparently when you send messages or send comments, but so you can type it in. And I basically say the same thing to everyone. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for stalking the poop out of your page, or oh my God, sorry for being a creep, or like something like that, because you literally just like 5 photos and commented on 3. So you want to make them know like, oh, I'm aware that I'm being weird, but I feel like we have so much in common. I really love your posts, or just anything to kind of like engage with them. Like, oh, we should totally be friends, or, oh, I love that we both have the same kind of dog. Just something to establish that connection with. And then if you want something, you have to ask for it. So if you want them to add you on Facebook, you have to ask them. And I just simply say, oh, I would love to get to know you more, but Instagram makes it super hard to do that. We should totally be friends. Do you have a Facebook? I'd love to connect with you. And they'll either say, yeah, I'm on Facebook, here's my name. Or they'll say, oh, what's your Facebook? And I'll send them the link. Or you can even say, here's my Facebook in case you can't find me, and then give it to them. So that is the biggest thing for getting people to add you from Instagram to Facebook. As far as where to find these people on Instagram, there's a lot of different ways you can do that as well. One of the ways that I like to do is through hashtags. So I use the same 30 hashtags on basically every single photo that I post, whether it has anything to do with the picture or not. I use the same set of hashtags because those are like targeted hashtags for my tribe. And I have a couple different sets of 30. I have like 2 or 3 sets. Sometimes I'll like swap them out interchangeably, but for more or less, I use the same hashtags for all of my photos. So those are things that you can go and search those hashtags to find people who are like you that way. The other way is by using the Explore or Discover, whatever it's called, the Explore page. Because if your habits on Instagram, if you're liking and commenting on photos that are relevant to you, Instagram is going to do you a favor and put more content in front of you that you might like based on your habits on Instagram. So if you're using Instagram to just go and like all photos of dogs, then if you go to your Explore page is going to be all photos of dogs, because Instagram is going to say, well, this person really likes dogs, so maybe they're going to like these pictures too. So you really want to be careful with what you're liking, what you're commenting on, because that's the content that Instagram is going to put on that page if you're using that page for connecting with people. And then the other way that's really neat is going to, if you have like a favorite local restaurant or a favorite store or anything that it has an Instagram page, like a business that's local, you can go to the people who follow that. And then that's a whole list of people who probably have something in common with you if they like the same place that you like to eat at, or the same place you like to shop at, or something like that. And that is how, I see there's 2 questions, but I'm not able to open them. Hold on. Let me just stop sharing my screen so I can open them. How frequently do you like and comment all at once? Oh, so I do all at once. I don't wait a day or whatever. I just do that. I like 5, comment on 3, and then I invite like all at once. And then I keep track of who I do that to, so I can go back and make sure like that they responded, or if they did. If they didn't, then oh well, they probably just thought I was a weirdo. And if they did, then I want to make sure if they gave me their name that I look them up. And then and somebody answered that too. Convos over a few days. Yeah, I mean that's great too. If it's because sometimes people like they either don't see that you said, oh, add me on Facebook, or they're like, wait, let me just talk to them, make sure they're not like a weirdo. So that's not a bad thing. I just personally don't do that. I just kind of add do the 5, 3, 1, boom, that's it. But yeah, so the other place, like I said, you can add people, or not add people, but like find a list of people who are interested in a lot of things that you are, just by going to other pages and seeing who follows those pages. And that's something that I did before I moved here, because I was like, I want to like meet people when I get here. I want to like kind of have some friends when I get down here. So I was looking at places in Jupiter, which is where I live now. And I have a girl who I actually just signed up as a coach a couple days ago from doing that. And we went out to lunch, and that's kind of like what I'm going to talk about next, about meeting people in person. Because I know it's kind of old school, like talking to people and here's my card kind of stuff. And I don't really use my card too often because people just kind of throw them away. But there are ways to successfully meet people in person. Or if you meet them on Instagram and they are local, like who said you couldn't go get lunch with them? Like who said you couldn't go get an acai bowl and hang out and just talk about life and be friends? Because that person is going to be your friend, and then they're going to probably become your best coach next, because your friend, like the coaches on our team who are the most successful are the ones who, like, I talk to them every single day because they want to talk to me. I want to talk to them. It's just like, it's fun when you're doing this with your friends. So that is the other thing I wanted to discuss, was adding friends the old school way in real life, because there are really friends everywhere. You just have to go out there and find them. And so I know I use Instagram to transfer people to Facebook, but I also use Instagram to meet people in person, which is what I've been doing lately here in Florida. So when you are talking to somebody and you go out in person, you want to get them, like if you run into someone and you're having a great conversation, whether it's at the library or the grocery store or whatever, you want to get them to add you on Facebook right away. And I learned this from making mistakes several times. Like, I've had great conversations with people and I don't get either their phone number or I don't have them add me on Facebook right away, and then I never hear from them ever again. I'm like, oh yeah, here's my information. Like, nobody's gonna look you up. Like, it's just, you can't expect people to do that. I mean, sometimes they will, but if people give me a business card, I usually just use it as a bookmark or like throw it away or whatever. So don't waste too much time or money on getting business cards. I have them, but it's only because I had to get them for an event that I was doing. And I do use them every once in a while, but most of it is just like, oh, hey, are you on Facebook? Here, add me on Facebook, and we'll swap phones and whatever at each other. You want to keep in contact with them. You want to text them if you have their number. You want to Snapchat them. You want to like treat them like your best friend, because they're going to be your best friend soon. So you just want to keep talking to them and really getting to know them more. And you can go on a date, go get lunch. I had a few dates. I feel like I'm like a player over here going on all these different dates since I've been here. But that's like a huge thing, going out and like actually having a conversation with somebody in person, talking to them. And then you can bring, I spelled shaker wrong, but you can bring a shake packet with you. Oh, I just so happen to have one in my purse here. You want to try it? Like, if it comes up in conversation, always have that stuff on you and be ready to share it, because it sounds like so old school, but it really does work. It's been working really well for me here. And I don't know if it's just because I'm the new girl and I'm like trying to meet people, but I don't know. I think this business is simple. It's easy. And a lot of times we overcomplicate it too much with all the things that we have. Like, oh, Instagram. Oh, maybe I should do Pinterest. Oh, maybe I should do a like page. Oh, but what about Twitter? Like there's so many things. But if you just pick like one or two outlets and you focus on those, you're going to have so much more success rather than trying to do it all at once. But this is just something that you can just add. Like, this is real life. This isn't like, okay, well, today I'm going to go to the mall and I'm going to find 5 new friends and I'm going to add them to my network. Like, no, it's just like if you're out and about and you run into somebody and you're talking to them, it doesn't hurt to connect with them. So something that's really funny about this is, not only, like, I literally talk to people everywhere I go. Like, I don't just talk to them about Beachbody. I just talk to them about random stuff. I start conversations with them to the point where, like, every time I travel, now this is great for you guys too. Any of you guys going to Summit, any of you guys that go on trips for Beachbody or anything, every time I go on a trip for Beachbody, which is often, I always add new friends from the airport. It's just like, so easy to talk about what you're doing. You just like, oh, where are you going? Oh, that's cool. Like, are you going there for work? And then they're like asking me, oh, well, what are you doing? Where are you going? And then boom, you tell them what you're doing. I actually have a girl on our team who's a coach who's kicking ass, who I met on the airplane going to the Diamond Retreat in Hawaii, because I decided I was going to talk to her. So don't be afraid to talk to people in person. Like, it's scary at first, but it's been so much fun, like actually meeting people in person and talking to them and then seeing them on the team. And just literally every time I go on a trip, I talk to people in the airport and I get them to add me on Facebook. And I have one of them who signed up as a coach. One of them this week who I met on Instagram, went on a few dates with her. She's a coach on our team now too. So don't just get stuck in that mindset where like you have to you can't talk about it in person. Like, it's really a huge game changer for me. As far as since I moved here, I've been doing a lot more of that. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. So I just want you to think, what if for right now? So what if you added one new person to your contact list every single day for the whole year? You would add 365 or 66 if you did it this year, new contacts per year. So if you started at 0 and you only added one person every single day, by the end of the year, you'd have 365 friends. But that's not to say all 365 of those friends are going to sign up and order a challenge pack and be a coach. So you can't assume that that means that you're going to have 365 people on your team, because we all know for every probably 10 people, 10 to 8 people you talk to, you get one yes. So I don't know if you'd hit Success Club every month if you're only adding one person every single day. Now, if you doubled that and you added 2 people every single day, that's 730 friends, which is a little better. But at the same time, it's still not enough to, if you want to hit Success Club every single month, and the amount of people you talk to every month, like I've talked to like 100 people every single month. And when I used to do the bubble challenges with my team, like whoever invited 100 people, like I was hitting Success Club 30 and 36, like crazy amounts of Success Club, because I was reaching out to more people. So it really is a numbers game. And if you're only going to add 2 people a day, by the end of the year, you're only going to add 730 more people to your network. And that's not enough if you want to really build a business and have a solid business where you're making 6 figures. And I'm not making 6 figures, just saying, like, it's eventually that will happen. But I'm just saying, like, if you're only going to add 2 people a day, it's going to take you longer to get to where you want to be. But if you added 10 people a day, that's 3,650 new friends that you're adding in a year. Now that's something you can work with. Like, that's a lot of people. I don't even have that many friends on my Facebook right now, but that's a lot of people that you're talking to. So the more people you add per day, and you don't want to go crazy. Like I said, you don't want to do more than 20 probably, or else Facebook will like red flag you or something. But you really want to focus on adding new friends every single day, because not for nothing, as quickly as you add friends, you're going to lose friends along your journey. I mean, I'm sure you've had people delete you as a friend, and like, that's fine. I've had a lot of people delete me as friends from high school and college that don't want to see me moving forward and being happy and successful. And if you haven't gotten it yet, you're going to, because a lot of times people, when they see you having success and they see themselves not going anywhere, they're like, ah, shit, I don't want to see that. That's going to make me feel like a piece of crap. So I'm going to delete them so I don't have to see it. And if you haven't had it happen, it's definitely going to happen to you eventually. Your friends are going to say, well, she's successful and like, I can't do that. And it has nothing to do with you. It just has everything to do with their limiting self-beliefs of themselves, that they can't do what you're doing. So don't ever worry if people delete you, because honestly, for every 10 people that people like I add, I probably lose 1. And it's not, I don't care. Like, it's not no skin off my back. I don't really care. But I know in the beginning it's like, oh, well, like, we were friends and they deleted me, but just honestly, it's not worth your time. But yeah, so how many new friends are you guys adding each day? Like, are you adding one? Are you adding any friends each day? Or are you just kind of talking to the same people over and over and over and over again? Because I've been there. I'm like, well, I talked to 20 people today, but I talked to the same 20 people like 2 weeks ago and talked to them last month and they still didn't want to do it. And now we're talking for like 5 months and they still don't want to do it. Like, I think I need to talk to more people because these people don't want to do it. You know, you can't just keep talking to the same people over and over again. I mean, yeah, you want to follow up, which I'm going to show you something in a minute that might blow your mind, but you definitely want to follow up. But as much as you're following up, you also want to keep inviting new people, because if you're not, you're going to get caught in that cycle of like, oh shit, who should I talk to? I already talked to all these people over and over again, and clearly they don't want to do it. So that is why it's important to continue to grow. And if you really want to grow, you want to be adding between 10 to 20 each day between Facebook and Instagram. So I don't know how many you guys are adding right now, but if you're not adding that many, you might want to up your friending game. But other than that, yeah. So when you have all these people, you really need to be organized. And this is something that I just happen to be good at organizing things. Not so much my house. If you want to ask my fiance, he's like always cleaning up after me. But my business, I'm pretty organized with that kind of stuff. So you want to manage your list. You want to make sure you know who you're talking to. You want to make sure who told you, oh, I'm pregnant right now. I'm going to have my baby in July. I'll be ready by X amount of date. Like, I write all these things down. So I know, like, okay, well, she just had a kid, so she's probably going to want to get in shape now. And she told me she'd want to after the baby, so I can follow up with her. But you can do any kind of method that works for you. I do pen and paper. I'm very old school. I used to do Streak, and I used to do Excel, and I used to like try all these fancy shiny objects. I'm like, oh, this is the answer. This will help me. And then I just spent more time trying to figure out how to do it and how to organize it that I was like wasting more time than anything. So if pen and paper works for you, great, stick to pen and paper. If you are an Excel spreadsheet kind of girl or guy, I don't know if there's guys on here, but if you are, go for it. If that's what works for you, that's great. But you just want to pick whatever works for you and stick with it and not try to like, oh, well, this coach is doing this, so I got to do that too. So every month I do 5 lists. I have a list of my current challengers so that I know to check in with them. I know to make sure that I send them that reminder email like, oh, your Shakeology is going to ship in a week. Do you want to, just so if you want to postpone that, I'm just letting you know, like, you can postpone it. You can change your flavor. Or if you want to get a discount on your next order, like, hit me up. I'll help you with that. So I have it sent out automatically a week before their shakes are going to ship so that I know they're not going to get one and be like, oh, what the hell? I didn't want another one. Because we all know how much fun that is. But so I always have a list of my current challengers. I have the date that the group starts written next to it. I have the date that they ordered so I know when to send that email. And then I have the program that they're doing. And then I also have another list called, so this month it's June, people I would like to help. I used to just call it like prospect list, but that just sounds so icky and weird. So I changed it to people I'd like to help, because personally it just makes me feel better. Like, oh, I'm just trying to help these people. I'm not trying to like do anything weird. I'm not trying to like just recruit people, because that's another word that's kind of icky too. So this is my month, people I'd like to help. And every month I go through my Facebook list and I write down all the people that I want to help, whether I've talked to them before, maybe it's someone I'm like, oh, crap, I didn't realize we were friends. Let me add them. And I just go through that list, and that's the people that I'm like, I want to help these people this month. Then I also have another list of new friends. So people who add me as a new friend, and anyone who adds me as a friend, I message them the following day and I start a conversation with them. I have a list of those people too, so I know who the new people are. And then anyone who we're in mid-conversation about coaching or a challenge group, I have another list of like mid-convo. Those people are on there. And then my favorite list is actually my no list. So anyone who tells me no, like, oh no, money's tight, or oh no, I don't have time, or oh no, whatever excuse they pull out of their butt, I put them on another list called No for Right Now. And then next month, that's my follow-up list, my day one follow-up list. All those people, all right, I'm like, hey, I know we spoke last month, wasn't your time, or money wasn't there, or whatever their excuse was, because I write down what they tell me their excuse was. And I say, I just want to let you know my next group is starting, blah, 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 whatever date. I know it wasn't the right time last time, but I didn't want you to miss out on this time. So if this time is better, I'd love to chat with you about your goals again and see if it's something that we could do this time. So that has helped me a lot as far as people who can't do it right now, but I always follow up the following month. And then there we go with follow-ups. Like, you've probably heard this, it's beat to death, but the fortune is in the follow-up. If you don't follow up with people, it makes it look like you just wanted to make a sale. That's plain and simple. If somebody messaged me and was like, oh, would you be interested in joining my challenge group? I'm super excited about it, or whatever they say, I don't know. And then, would you be interested in costs/details or whatever? And then I saw it and I forgot to respond to it, which is what a lot of people end up doing. And then you never messaged me back about it. I'm going to assume that you were like, oh, well, she didn't answer, so whatever, I'm just going to move on to somebody else. So it kind of shows people that you don't really care about helping them. You just want to make a sale when you don't follow up. And I've had people tell me like, oh my God, thanks for following up with me. I'm so sorry. I've been like so busy and I really need to do this. So really thank you so much for following up with me. Because if you didn't, I probably wouldn't have done this. So you really don't, you have to kind of get over that. Like I'm being annoying and be like, no, I am helping this person this month and they need my help. And I'm going to keep following up with them until they sign up. And they do, like, because they told me they wanted to do it. Like you told me that you wanted to wear this bathing suit this summer and you didn't want to wear a cover up on the beach, or you wanted to look awesome on your honeymoon. Like that's why it's important to find out what their goals are, because then you can just throw that right in their face and say, you told me you wanted this. So what is holding you back? So you always want to follow up. I also have a dry erase board that I have over my desk that has my downline so that I kind of know like where I'm placing people strategically. Like every time somebody signs up, I put them there where they are. I have my Success Club points on there. I have my goal for my Success Club points. I have the coaches I signed up, my goal for that. I have like my mantra up there, my word of the year, like stuff like that to keep me like focused. And then I also have in the middle, like anyone who is like, I sent a link to and I'm waiting for them to order, or anyone who was like, we're been talking about it and they just haven't ordered yet, stuff like that. So I have a list in the middle and it's like in this like cloud looking thing. And it's people that I have sent a link to, people who are ready to sign up or people who are like almost ready to sign up. We're talking still. But the biggest thing is you want to track everything. And I don't know if you listened to the National Wake Up Call. I believe it was last week. I just had a brain fart and don't remember what her name was, but she was talking about tracking your business and what you track. She kept rhyming about stuff. I don't remember what the rhyme was, but whatever you track is going to impact or something. So you really need to keep tracking the things that you're doing. You want to track everything. You want to track who you're talking to. You want to track the amount of invites you're doing. And that goes back to that business activity tracker. Like you have that now. You have all of the things that you need to be doing. It's right there in front of you. And if you're tracking it every day, the best part about it is you can go back and self-evaluate. Like, okay, well, this week I sold one challenge pack and I didn't add anyone to my contact list. So let me go back and see what I did this week. So like why I didn't have success this week as much as I was hoping I would. And then you go back and you look and you're like, oh, well, I only invited like 2 people this week. So I'm lucky I got the challenge pack sale. You know, you want to go back and look and see what it is that you did. So if you didn't post, if you only posted like 3 days out of the 7, then next week you want to focus on posting. Or maybe you only invited 2 days and you really slacked off on the weekend. Then you know, like next week I need to like really focus on inviting because I didn't invite anybody this week. And that's the biggest thing. When you track it, you know what you did and what you didn't do. If you're not tracking, you're kind of just like floating around in outer space because you don't know what the heck's going on with your business. And this is what I was talking about that kind of blew my mind when I saw it. I found this in a group that I'm in. I'm not sure which group it's in. Marissa, you might have seen this too. I think it might have been the Southeast group, but
it's actually Go for No has some statistics very similar to this.
Yeah.
Go for No, the book, it's in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but basically following up is so important, and a lot of people don't follow up. So apparently 48% of people don't follow up with people that they contact. And then 25 follow up one time. So I don't know how many of you are in that 25%, but I'm sure there's a few of you. And I can't see you guys, so if your hand's up, then I can't see you anyway. But 12 people follow up twice, and then they stop. They're like, oh, well, I followed up. I guess they don't want to do it, so whatever. And then 10% follow up more than 3 times. But 2% of sales are made in the first contact. So if you're one of those people who follows up one time, your closing rate is 2%. So you need to talk to a shit ton of people if you want to hit Success Club if your closing rate is 2%. Just saying. Your sales are made on the second contact, only 3%, 5% on the third, 10 on the fourth, and 80% on the 5th to the 12th contact. So you can either say, oh, well, I don't want to be annoying, so I'm not going to follow up with them again. Or you can say, no, like I want to freaking hit Success Club and I want to build a business. So I'm going to follow up with them because I need to help them. So it's really an ego thing. It's like, it's all in your head. You can't let your brain be like, oh, you're being annoying. Don't follow up. But on the other shoulder, you're like, oh, but I really need to like make this work. Like I have goals too. And in order for me to achieve my goals, I need to help other people. So if you're kind of battling between should I follow up and should I not follow up, it's like, well, do you want to hit Success Club? Do you want to be successful or do you not? It's kind of like the same thing. So if you are ever in a situation, whether it's with following up or with doing your invites or whatever it is that you're doing, if you tell yourself like, well, it's not a priority for me to follow up with these people, probably changes your idea about what it is that you're doing. Or, oh, it's not a priority for me to invite today. Oh, that'll be fine. I'll just do it on the weekend. Like, no, like it is a priority. If you want to build a business, it's a priority. And if you reword that, it kind of makes you think like, oh crap, like I better go do that now. So that's something that I kind of wanted to talk about too, because following up, building your contact list and all is great, but if you're not following up with the people you're talking to and you're not building relationships with them, what good is it that you have so many Facebook friends? Like you can add 20 people a day and then never message them and like hope that they see your post, but that's not really going to make a difference in your success because they might see it, but they're not going to reach out to you because a lot of people are too shy to reach out to you. And I've had people follow me for a year and a half and tell me that, oh, I've been watching you for a year and a half and I finally had the courage to message you. I'm like, what the heck? So a lot of people, they're too afraid to reach out to you. So you always want to make sure that as you're adding people, you're talking to them, you're starting conversations with them because they're not going to start one with you. But that's about it. And I have another thing in the chat.
It was me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when the people delete you. Yeah.
When people delete you as friends, I was saying you're clearing out space for the right people to come in. So you have to love and know that. And I've had a lot of people delete me or remove me or judge me or whatever. And it took me a long time to realize that it was for the best that they got rid of me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't want to be having them taking up space in my life.
Mm-hmm. And the same goes for you guys. If you have people who if you're someone who compares yourself to other people, which I'm a huge comparer, it's not a good quality or characteristic to have. But if you're one of those people and you have that one or two people who you always compare yourself to, unfollow them. You don't have to unfriend them. Like you can still be their friend because you don't need to go that far, but just unfollow them so you don't ever see their stuff. Unless you go to their page, which you shouldn't, because then you're going to start comparing yourself and then you're going to be like, oh, why am I not doing this? So that's something that I practice that. I have some coaches who I see they're super successful and I'm like, oh, but why? I'm doing all this stuff. Maybe I should be doing what they're doing. And I'm like, no, I just unfollow them. And honestly, it's like cutting yourself free. And you're like, oh, I can do whatever I want now. So it's a good thing to start doing if you have coaches who you see them. I mean, obviously coaches on your team, you don't want to unfollow your top coaches on your team because they're setting the pace for you. They're an example for you. But other coaches on other teams are just top 10 coaches. You see them, you're like, oh, well, shit, she already did her workout. It's 5 a.m. and I just rolled out of bed and she's already done, stuff like that. You don't have to ever compare yourself. And that's something I'm still working on too. And that's something that I've been doing that's really helping. So.
I've done that too. I had some people that I'm still friends with them, but I just unfollowed so they don't pop up in my newsfeed. Mm-hmm. And yeah. I still, if I want to really make myself feel bad, we'll go to their page and I'm like, damn it, why did I do that?
Yeah. No, I'm guilty.
I'm pretty good at staying away. If you remove yourself, then you don't get, and I think we all compare ourselves. Anybody I think that wants to be successful in this business does. So mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you something. So, your posture is amazing. I love how you lead and I think you're a great leader. How do you feel about what have you done to help your team kind of take ownership of their business? Do you feel like you do a lot of hand holding? Do you feel like you kind of put it on them? What do you think is What has helped your team in that way?
Yeah, well, in the beginning, I did a lot of hand holding, and I wanted to bang my head against the wall every single day because I wasn't teaching them anything. I was just like, here, oh, you need a link? I'll do it. I'll get it for you, because I was like trying to help them. And I mean, I should have known better. I went to school to be a teacher. Like, teachers don't do the tests for their kids, you know, like they got to teach them how to do it so that they can do it on their own. So what I started doing, and this was like, I don't know when, probably once I hit diamond, I was like, all right, I have these people now, and I gotta lead them, but I can't be like holding their hand the whole time. So one thing that I do now is every Monday, because I used to like follow up with every coach every week. I'd be like, all right, today is the day I'm gonna reach out to all of my coaches and see how they're doing, and that would take me like freaking 30 minutes just to send the messages out, and like half of them never even responded, and this person's like not even working the business anymore, and this person's like kind of half working the business. So I'm like, I'm wasting my time that I could be spending on building my business trying to figure out if you're actually building yours. So I'm like, can't be doing that anymore. So something I started doing is having my coaches message me. So I learned this at Smart Success. Shalene Johnson makes all of her employees text her, hey, I'm starting work now, like letting them know like when they're starting work. So I'm like, all right, well, I can kind of use that too. So every Monday I have them text me with their Success Club point update, how many coaches they've signed, what their goal is for the week, and then if they have any questions or anything else, they can ask me that too. And does everybody text me on Monday? No. The ones who text me on Monday are the ones who are having a successful business and the ones who are getting my attention. So I really kind of focused it more on like, okay, well, it's more of like, if you're deserving of my time, that means that you're doing your 3 vital behaviors. You're showing up when I'm asking like, oh, I need people to volunteer to post for the 3-day sneak peek. Like, you're helping, you're doing things. If you're someone who like doesn't do anything, just says, oh, I can't hit Success Club. Oh, I can't hit Success Club. Well, how many people are you inviting? Like 3. Well, how do you expect to hit Success Club? Like, let's have a call. Like, I'll do a call with you, but I'm not going to like sit there and hold your hand and do everything. Like, if you have a question, we can have a call. If you have like a whole bunch of questions, let's have a call. But I can't just keep sitting there and like answering question after question. Like, oh, where's my coach ID? Like, no, like go. I have things that I have spent hours making so that I don't get these kind of questions, which has helped a lot. So in our, I have like a PDF that's made with everything, like coach FAQs, all of that stuff. Like, if you can't find, I have this rule. It's kind of, I learned it I didn't learn it in kindergarten, but I learned it when I was teaching in kindergarten. It was ask 3, then ask me, because it came about because kids were like asking me to tie their shoes, and then the other kid's like, oh, tie my shoe, oh, tie my shoe. But there's like kids in your class who know how to tie your shoes for you, and I can't tie everyone's shoes. So if you didn't ask 3 friends yet and you couldn't find 3 or any of your friends to help you, then you can ask me. So ask 3, then ask me. So I kind of use that now too. Like, all right, well, ask 3. You can check the coach online office. You can ask another coach. You can ask in the team page. You can like check Google. And if you still can't find the answer, if you really still need help finding your coach ID, then you can message me and I'll tell you where it is. But that's really cut back a lot on those kind of unnecessary questions, because if you're telling your coaches everything, and this is like as you're growing a team and you're growing into a leader, you're not doing them any help. You're doing them a disservice by doing everything for them, because when they have a team, their coaches are going to do the same thing to them, and they're going to be like, oh my God, like I hate this. And like, well, you did that to me. So you really want to start teaching them to be a leader. And something that I started doing as well is once they hit Emerald, I'm like, all right, let's talk about team names. What's your team name? Let's start thinking about what your logo is going to look like. What do you want to like? How about you make a team page and start adding your people to your team page so that they have some way of positioning themselves as a leader for their team, and their team doesn't just look up to me. Like, yeah, I'm here I am, but I don't ever want to be put on a pedestal, and I don't want everyone to just look at me, because they signed up with their coach for a reason. Like, they looked up to them, and I don't want them to lose that once they start being in like the bigger team. They see like, oh, who's that girl? Like, geez, she seems like she knows what she's doing. Like, no, you know these things too, and you can pass that on to your coaches. So that's kind of another thing that's helped a lot with having them start their team page when they're an Emerald. Do all of them do it? No. But the ones who do are the ones who are leading a team and having success. I had a girl, she signed up in March was her first month, hit Success Club 8 in her first day, signed up her first 2 coaches in her first week, hit Emerald. She's a Diamond coach now. And it took her less than 90 days to hit Diamond, because as soon as she was Emerald, she was like, I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to have a team page. She started thinking about her team name and was really all set in and being a leader. And it just took off for her. So I really think that if you believe you're a leader, then you can be a leader. But if you feel like, oh, I can't talk on a team call, or, oh, I can't do this, then your team's not going to grow, because if you're not growing, then your team's not growing. So it's kind of like a cycle of growing together, I guess. Yeah.
I thought I was muted. Thank you for sharing that. I love it.
No problem.
Great.
Can you repeat the things that you have your team text you on Mondays?
Yeah, I actually have a graphic. I can just send it to you.
Okay, that'd be great.
She's got you need to send us all your graphics. Your graphics.
Yeah, but the thing is, I spend too much time doing these things. These are time-wasting activities that I do.
I don't think so. I think you have it laid out real good for your team.
Yeah, I mean, I have it. I can show you where I have it. Let me show you. Because our team does a lot of stuff together, and we have it all in the, well, actually, I have a team page for just my personally sponsored coaches, so that helps me really work one-on-one with them. And then I have one for my entire team. So where'd it go? Oh, I just changed it, so it's not going to be in here. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'll show you the one on the team page then. Okay, so I have right here is what is happening in the month of June. So everyone knows the challenge packs that are on sale. Everyone knows the Success Club promotions. Everyone knows when our groups are going, except they're kind of slacked off on the Instagram training and forgot to do it this week. But I told them about it. They're doing Dash to Diamond instead, so it'll be too much going on at once. That was kind of how I settled that. But this is a way, so everyone knows what's going on. Everyone knows what they can invite to. Everyone's aware of that. And then we have our power hours on here. But the other one, this is a pinned post. This always stays here, so that new coaches that, if one of my coaches signs up a coach, they just tag them on this post, and they'll be able to see everything. And then it has step 1, step 2, step 3. So I don't do emails anymore. I used to do emails, and I kind of strayed away from the new coach email because it was just too much. But I'm trying to find the one that, I can't believe I can't find it now. This is kind of embarrassing. Here I am. I'm oh yeah, I'm so organized. And now I can't find the damn thing. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So we do accountability check-ins in my personally sponsored coach page. And then this is what I have them text me. So every Monday, text me with your updated Success Club tally, the number of coaches you've signed, a general update on how you're doing, potential clients, goals, etc. Let me know how I can help you. So that's in a nutshell. And then I let them know what the Success Club drawing is for the month. But I only do that for my personally sponsored coaches because I can't keep shoveling out gifts for everyone. So I just do that for them, and I tell them, if you guys want to run your own little Success Club things for your coaches, you can do that. But I can't just keep buying things for everyone because, I'm on a budget here, so. But yeah, I can send this picture to Marissa so she can give it to you if you wanted to copy this part though. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to get this back up to the top because I want that and my video at the top. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Now, do you utilize your like page and reaching out, to people liking your page and reverse engineering and all that stuff like we're learning in the training, or do you just primarily go off Instagram and friend requests?
Well, I am also in the Facebook training. I, however, was just moving and I kind of like slacked off on that, but I'm only posting on my like page and not posting on my personal page anymore. Maybe like every once in a while I'll throw one up like, hey, I'm still here, or hey, head over to my like page and see how I'm going to make this really awesome acai bowl, like stuff like that to kind of direct the traffic there. But as far as my personal page, I don't really post on it anymore because I feel like it's either if you're doing a like page, you're all in or you're not. So I don't know why I keep burping. I'm sorry. Every time I talk, it's just weird. But yeah, you're either all in on the like page or you're not. And if you kind of, I curse a little bit too. So like if you're half-assing it, you're going to like get half-ass results. It's with anything. So I've primarily like only been posting on my like page and then just kind of posting randomly on my personal, just like to get people over there. But as far as like driving people in, for me right now, it's still Instagram and my personal like friends list because I haven't gotten to the part where I'm still on the first part. Like, how do you make the ad to make people like your page? Like, that's where I am still. So I don't know how to do that yet. But yeah, once I learn how to do that, then I probably will be changing up the way I do things. So it depends, I guess, where you are at with your like page right now. I don't think I'm at a point where I can just rely on that. Yeah.
Because I think that's where I'm struggling because they're like, yeah, just do reverse engineering. And I'm like, I can't, I'm trying to get SC10, but starting all these new relationships with people. So I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
And just investing all of that time and not trying to be salesy with people. So I just didn't know like how it works for everybody else, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you talk to people you don't have to talk to them for 3 months before you bring up what you're doing. That's just kind of silly. But it's different for everyone. Some people you can talk to them in like 2 conversations and it already comes up. Some people it takes a little longer. So you kind of have to judge your conversations, but you don't want to be somebody who like is so hesitant to ask and then you find out that they signed up with somebody else. Because I've had that happen. There's a bug in here. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, so you don't want that to happen. I've had that happen a few times. So you want to just kind of judge it by the way the conversation is going. And if you feel like maybe you should invite them, then you should. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? I like questions. I usually don't have any on my team calls. Just get like blank stares.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy you're here because I think
my team's tired of hearing me talk, so it'll be nice for them to hear you.
I think my team's tired of hearing me talk too. So like I love what you're saying and the way you're presenting it. I feel like a lot of people are going to connect with it. So I really appreciate you, being on and
no problem. Yeah, anytime. And I'm excited to have you on our call on Wednesday. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions? No. Can't see everybody. I'm like flipping through the pages.
Hi, thanks for sharing. Are you doing this full time?
Yeah, I currently am. I probably should have told you guys like a little bit about me before I started. Just like, yeah, like who the heck is this girl? But yeah, I used to be a teacher, so I went to school, graduated. I always wanted to be a teacher from like the time I was in first grade. I would like set up my stuffed animals and like teach them, give them homework and like do weird stuff. But so I went to school. I went to Monmouth University. I graduated. I did really well in school. And I got my first teaching job in a kindergarten. I was like an instructional assistant. So I guess that's like a teaching job, but not really. And then I found out that I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would. And I was in grad school as well at the time for my master's. And I was like, all right, well, I signed up to be a discount coach. So if you have girls and guys in your team are like, oh, I just want the discount, that's fine. Because that's what I did. That's why I signed up. And now I'm like doing this full time. So don't ever put the people like who are discount coaches, like, oh yeah, well, they're not going to help me, so I'll just throw them over there. Like, no, like you want to like, don't ever discount the discount coach. And also, if you have coaches on your team who are maybe not your coaches, but they're your coaches' coaches, and they're rocking the business, doesn't hurt to reach out to them and help them too, because my coach isn't a coach like anymore. She quit. And when she was a coach, she never really did anything to help me because I was just a discount coach. So like, why the heck would I need any help, right? So my coach now is my coach's coach who reached down to help me, and I'm so grateful that she did. But yeah, so I used to be a teacher, and then I went on a trip where I think it was the first time that I met you actually in Cancun. And I was my coach's guest because it was like so last minute. She's like, oh, well, if I asked you if you could wanted to go to Cancun with me in like 3 weeks, would you be able to do that? And I'm like, hell yeah, I could do that. So I got a passport because I didn't have one. I took all of my personal days and one sick day, and I was like, oh, I'm sick that day, and then I'm going to go to Cancun. So I went on this trip, and it completely changed my whole outlook on everything. Like, I met Marissa, I met Pat Relman, I was talking to like Team Boom and like all these really successful coaches, and I was like, shit, this is legit. This isn't just some silly thing that you see people like, oh, maybe 2 people are successful. Like, no, there's a lot of people who can really make a big living and like actually do this. So then I was like, yeah, I'm kind of not digging my job too much, and it's so negative, and I just didn't like the environment that I was in. So as much as like this was like the hardest decision ever, but I dropped out of grad school. I had 3 classes left before I got my master's. My mom and dad were not happy because I had just put all this money into like nothing, but it helps me. I still teach my team clearly, so it's still being used. But yeah, so once I went on that trip, I was like, oh my God, I need to like really work this. And that's when everything took off for us. So yeah, now I'm full-time. I actually just moved to Jupiter from New Jersey with my fiance. We're in this like an apartment. It was just really fun just living together. It's our first time. And that's not something I would have ever been able to do, just kind of pick up and move to Florida if I was still teaching, because like, you know, when you have a job like that, you can't do something like that. So now I'm full-time, but it was really hard making that transition from having a full-time job to doing this, because when I had that full-time job, I was almost more productive because I had limited time. And then now that I was full-time, I was like, oh, well, I'll get to it when I get to it. You know, I have all day. You sit here in my pajamas, and then you get nothing done. So you still need some kind of structure if you're staying home and working from home. But it does make a difference. Like once you're able to, if like this is something you're really serious about and you really want to put all of your heart into it and do this full time, once you make that leap, it makes a huge difference in your business. Like you'll see, if you look at like the success of my business and my income and everything, you'll be able to say like, all right, well, that's when she quit, because that's when everything started to go up. So it really does, like when you have more time to dedicate to it, you're able to kind of get more out of it. But it doesn't mean that you need all of that time, because you can still get just as much done if you use your time wisely. But yeah, so I don't know how many of you guys are any of you guys full-time Beachbody right now, or no? You got Lisa, Marissa. Well, you're still doing that 1 day a week thing, right? Yeah. Which is so awesome though, that you get to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't need it financially, but I want to keep my license active.
Yeah.
It's too hard to get that thing.
If I let it go, I'll never get it back.
No. I'm like, mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially if you just do it like once a week.
If I don't work for 2 years, I can't renew my license. So I wouldn't be able to be a CRNA again. I'd have to go through the whole recertification process.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's not good.
Take the exam again, which I'd never be able to pass it right now.
Mm-mm.
And it's just 1 day, right?
1 day, I'm not even working. I shouldn't say that, but I'm not even working once a week. I'm working like
the minimum.
Well, Really realistically, yeah, I'm gonna stop recording.